And we're back! Ladies and gentlemen, High Elves, Dark Elves, Shadow Kid, Lizardman, whatever you might be. It's great to be in the Empire today, my friends. How we doing? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video where, my gosh, we may have the promo code of all time. Everybody, quickly run over to your games. Type in win mid-game winter. And everybody will be getting for free. Look at that, people. Look at that. Look at all of this silver that I can spend in probably 2 seconds. People, don't spend it all in one place, baby. But hold on. Hold on, people. Before you use that promo code, if you are a new player, don't you dare type in that promo code yet. Why? Well, you're going to want to use the link down below, the QR code up above, and if you're a new player or you start up a new account, you'll get these 4 free champions with one of my favorite legendaries right away, Tholan, going into Ugo at level 10, to go at level 20, Ruella at level 30, baby. And because you only can use one promo code per 24 hours, you can use that one I just showed a moment ago another day. But you want to make sure you go to your promo code and type in UD King, baby, so you get the ultimate Death Knight. Only available for new players. I wish we got all that good stuff. Would be nice, wouldn't it? But you know what also is nice? For my friends in Galaxy of Heroes. I mean, today we're going to go over all these interesting rewards that are coming along with the new Grim Forest game mode. They can't keep, no. Why is it they can't suffer in Raid Shadow Legends? They're getting yet again here in Raid another storage update coming along the corner, around the corner, whatever the case might be. In Galaxy Heroes, we keep eating crap. We're like, oh, CG, it's okay. We understand it's so hard to expand our inventory. We're still stuck with the mod inventory of 500. I was back in 2000, what was it, 16? When mods came out. Anyways, I thought that'd be I mainly wanted to bring that up just because it makes me mad about Galaxy of Heroes, that somehow Raid multiple times throughout the year they increase the storage and people still complain that it's not enough. People, you don't know how good you have it. I always know people hate that. I remember when I'd go to Marvel Strike Force and I would say, yeah, you know, you guys got some good things over here. I go to Galaxy, it's like, hey, we got some good things over here that game's doing. People don't want to hear about the good things about their game. They always want to complain, and I'm the king of complaining. But let's see if we have anything to complain about with these new relics here. I've actually been sort of in a bit of a conundrum. I don't know. I can't even remember what was it. I've been just hoarding onto all of my crafting things because I thought maybe they'd be boosting the rarity chance. Didn't they talk about it at some point? It's like, oh, I gotta save my crafting materials. I don't know. I probably should just go in there and just craft them. Just craft them. I don't know. Maybe I just keep holding out. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about these artifacts. And, you know, maybe they're going to be of interest. We have new artifacts, accessories, whatever you want to call them, and new relics with the legendary and the mythical ones looking mucho interesante, my friends. We have this new Mercurial gear set. 8 new relics coming along with a Grim Forest. And we're expecting this game mode to hit sometime by the end of the year. We had a little chat on the overview the other day all about it. And, you know, it seems like Conquest from Galaxies, which I liked originally, until they ruined that game mode over time. But anyways, here's what we got here. It's going to be a variable set equipped with like protection, stone skin, right? Every time you add an extra piece, you unlock a new special stats, bonus, whatever the case might be. It's going to be a 9-piece set for HP 15%, resistance 40%. The speed is 32%, and it has up to 3 total guard stacks, which is something a little bit new. Let's go ahead, and apparently from here, it says, sadly, the speed stat's weighted towards the 8-piece rather than the 3-piece set. And that's one thing about these, you know, that can make these either really exciting or not as exciting, is that they front load all the good stuff, because you know how it is. You know, even some of my champ, it's like, you know, I was like, I can get to, you know, 6, 7. It's like, I can't quite get to 8 and 9, and all the good stuff's in that 8 and 9. So it's kind of hard to sometimes make the complete set with all these artifacts here. But guard might be, you know, it could be a better version of Stone Skin. Here's what it says right now: Grim Forest artifact set, total guard buff. The The total guard buff will block any single instance of damage and all status effects a champion receives from an enemy skill. So bombs, poisons, I believe it's trying to stop stuff like that. And a champion can receive multiple stacks of total guard buff. Each total guard stack will block a single instance of damage from an enemy skill. It will also block any associated effects such as debuffs, including guaranteed and unresistible debuffs, destroy max HP events, equalize HP effects, swap HP effects, debuff spread effects, decrease or equalize, and the list goes on and on and on. Oh, also, decrease or equalize Terminator effects. So this was something that was a bit of a shock to me, coming from, hardcore Galaxy Heroes player, even Marvel Strike Force, and actually I can't remember how Marvel Strike Force does it, but coming from especially Galaxy Heroes, the Raid, Armand says a big Terminator removal, right? And I always assume, just like Galaxy Heroes, you can just pull back turn meter. You can't pull back turn meter if you have tenacity up or something. Well, in Raid, even if you have resist debuffs, turn meter's its own separate thing. You can still pull back turn meter, even if you have what's it called, the block debuffs or whatever. So that was kind of interesting to me. They kind of do it a little bit different than Galaxy Heroes, where turn meter removal can be potentially considered a debuff, right? It gets blocked by tenacity up. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. Also, immune to all negative effects except increased cooldown, even from skills that do not inflict damage. And a champion will lose a stack of total guard whenever they would take damage from another champion skill. This includes damage taken via ally protection buffs, reflect damage buffs, as well as passive skills that share or reflect a damage. The champion will not lose a stack of total guard when they take damage from masteries, blessings, or relics if a champion under both total guard and block damage. Jeez, I swear this is longer than some kits out there for Raid Shadow Legends. And block damage when they receive damage from an enemy skill, they will lose a stack of total guard. If a champion takes damage that is reduced to 0 by another champion's passive skill, they will lose a stack of total guard. And all bosses will ignore total guard. So against bosses, not as fun, apparently. So I kind of with the same thing here. This TLDR, many questions are made about how total guard works. It might be crazy, it might be weak. It's very strong against bombs and burns, like I was saying. Unlike Stone Skin, a 9 pieces and continues to help in longer fights, unlike Stone Skin. So, interested to see where this goes. On the surface, it seems like there's more important, better 9-piece artifact sets out there. But man, if they could somehow maybe put the speed earlier on, I could be a bit more interested. Didn't they buff Chronophage? When it first came out, I was like, Then they buffed Chronophage and people were farming the event dungeon hard. At one point, I think, there could be a chance something like this could happen. But now we got these artifacts and, relics. And you guys, I think I've said my opinion a few times. I get what they're doing, right? Having these artifacts, they give you nice little bonuses. It doesn't, again, I know they every little bit adds up, right? It can help, and there are some really bonkalicious relics out there. I don't know why I keep calling them artifacts. But it's one of those things where it's I've never really felt the incentive to spend money specifically on relics. It's okay, I see it as a cherry on top. I feel like, I'm sure there's probably that super, super, super high end, if you're trying to get, if you're going from maybe 100 million, you want to get 200 million, maybe it could help out with things like that. I don't know, but it just seems like I can enjoy a majority of Raid Shadow Legends and not worry too much about these relics. I appreciate that they're not crazy, power creep, at least to someone like me. And I also appreciate they're permanently available in your roster, whereas in Galaxy Heroes, sort of the inverse, where they're absolutely insane stats. You spend a lot of crystals building them up, and then they get deleted after 3 months or whatever. So I can appreciate how Raid did it. It's just one of those things, I just see them as kind of a nice addition. And I don't know. I'm going to assume it's probably me that doesn't care as much about these relics. If I can get some good ones, I'm not going to complain, but I'm not sweating over it. But I'm assuming with this new Grim Forest, these are probably going to be the artifacts that most will end up getting. Here we go. We have this Steel-Eyed Cutter, where it has a 20% chance to ignore 5% of the enemy's defense when attacking. So kind of a small percentage of ignore enemy defense and, a small chance of it as well. So it's okay, again, it's one of those things, if I got it and I had nothing else, of course it doesn't hurt to just have it on my character, but it's I'm not running to the bank and asking Grandma for some money for these things. And again, I'm not complaining. We have Hoarder's Cauldron, where there's a 20% chance to ignore 10% of the target's resistance when applying debuffs. It's okay. Right, okay. Again, it's one of the same problem. It's kind of a low chance and it's a low amount that happens. All right, now we get to these epics here. Compass of Anaxia whenever the wearer is under a crowd control debuff, all Terminator fill effects increase the wearer's Terminator by an additional 20%. Okay, let's go check out the other one real quick. All right, and hold on. And now we have the Revolting Seedling. Whenever the wearer receives damage, has a 20% chance to heal themselves by 20% of the damage received. I don't know. It's just they don't feel like they're going to make a huge difference, right? So you need to be under a very specific situation, a crowd control debuff, and then you need to have someone that's going to be able to give you turn meter fill effects. Well, and then it's 20% isn't going to change the world. Like, what if I get a 10% turn meter fill? I have to be under crowd control, and 20% of 10% it doesn't seem like a lot. It just, I don't know. It seems like pennies is the way. And the same thing here. It's like, okay, so if I get hit by 200,000 damage, I don't know if the 20% heal is really going to save my life. But again, if you, when you're getting kind of hit over like a successive amount of time, it's like all that little bit adds up, I guess, potentially. Anyways, this is when things get a bit more interesting, as you would expect, right? They want to make sure all the good stuff is locked up in all these very shiny colors with the golds and the red. So the Solmar Crystal, once per round, wears a 50% chance of activating an instant turn effect when one or more allies are killed. This is a bit more interesting. Of course, still kind of a coin toss, still a bit of RNG, but being able to get an instant turn, this could be great for so many teams out there that are like reactive. For example, like someone dies, you want to quickly get them to take a turn, maybe do some big ability, or it could be good, for example, revivers. Someone dies, maybe get an instant turn, try to revive them right away. So this is when things get a lot more interesting. If it was like 10% chance of activating an instant turn effect, it's like, it's not going to change things. But 50%, all right, we're flipping a coin, and we have a good chance of things happening here. Spore Burst Rod. Whenever a player, jeez. Let's do it again. Whenever the wearer places a poison or bomb debuff, has a 10% chance placing a second debuff for 2 turns. Only counts debuffs placed by active skills. So let me read that again one more time. Whenever the wearer places a poison or bomb debuff, 10% chance of placing a second debuff. I wonder how this works with someone like Calvalax, who can spam a lot of poisons out there, a bomb. So let's say you can put like 3 poisons. Does each of them count individually as, I guess, another chance of rolling a second debuff? Or is it just kind of look at, all right, you applied, let's say, 100 poisons at once. I don't know who can do that right away. And it's only going to be 1 chance. But if you could take each of those 100 chances and then get a chance to get another bomb, all right, this could be a bit more interesting. So, actually, let me read. Let's see if there's any into... Yeah, I want to read into this, because this could be cool for, what's his face? What did we just get recently? The orc guy. Jeez. The Wallbreaker Cross. There we go. Sparburst Ross, the new go-to relic for bomb champions, giving him a great increase in damage. This is great for both PvP and PvE, so hope it has good stats and gem sockets. So yeah, I'm not even considering that. It's only okay for poison champions for most content. Yeah. It provides a nice damage boost, though you can easily hit a debuff cap with poisoners already. So again, curious how that works. Yeah, I haven't been considering the stats. One thing about these relics, sometimes it's the stats that are more interesting than this. And even Galaxy, the Datacrons, as some of you guys may know, sometimes the abilities can be trash. You might not have ever used the abilities, but you might have like 500% offense. Like, okay, I'll throw this on any team I want. And then the new mythical relics. This is where things get very interesting. When we have the Coronet of Gloom. Whenever all the wearer's allies are dead, place a block damage on the wearer for 1 turn. Guaranteed. No 50%. Has 10% chance of placing this buff when a single ally dies. That is where I'm very excited to see this. So it's sort of feels like, in a way, because Ugo's kind of got this thing where if she's the last one standing, she'll try to, she's one of my free giveaway codes, right? She can try to be the last one standing and try to bring the team back, right? This is interesting because I believe it doesn't look like there's even a cooldown. It just seems like anytime this happens, boom. And I think one of the craziest things too, I don't know, pros and cons to this, but like when you're doing an arena battle, live arena, whatever the case might be, you don't know what artifacts are on the enemy. You don't know what abilities are upgraded. You have no idea on the relics. So there's definitely this huge fog of war. And this is how some teams that normally wouldn't catch off guard sometimes do, because they have things like this. And if you don't worry about a reviver, it's like, I'll just deal with them later. You might run into a situation like this. So this seems big for a revive champion of some sort. And this Lens of Intangibility seems like the new, at least one of the best potentially. I like artifacts, relics. My gosh, I keep mixing the words on relics for damage dealers. Check out the Lens of Intangibility, where ignores temps to the target's defense. No chance, no 5% chance to ignore 1%, you know, right? At the start of the round, this is where things get very interesting. Place a Perfect Veil buff on the wearer for 2 turns, and while under Veil or Perfect Veil, wearer ignores an additional 5% defense. Okay, this is interesting now. Few things, not just, you know, of course, ignoring the defense, no chance of it. It's awesome. Perfect Veil kind of could be a few things, right? First and foremost, on the surface, you know, attackers are generally on the weaker side. They can be killed off pretty easily. Well, if you put them under Perfect Veil, they can survive opening plays that try to target the champions. That's one thing. Also, some champions synergize very well with the Perfect Veil. Might get additional effects on top of that, right? So this is where things could even get interesting in that regard. And then being able to get an additional 5% defense ignore, pretty cool stuff. But let's be real, I don't know if I'm going to be really getting many mythical relics. However, maybe I should, I don't know if you guys want me to. I'll go ahead and do it. I mean, I definitely have a chance to roll a few mythicals from all that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shenanigans that we did. I can't remember where it was. I think it was one of the dev Q&As, and they talked about, again, this is just me having probably a boomer moment here. I'm pretty sure they mentioned something about maybe looking into the rarity chances. And it's like, instead of it being 20% chance for mythical when I'm using mythical pieces, maybe they increase it. Again, who knows? My guess is maybe down the road they'll do it for newer relics. I don't know if they want to encourage essentially what I'm doing, which is hoarding materials, hoping that they'll do something down the road. So curious how this works. It's sort of like, for example, Galaxers, any other game really. They'll see that players are hoarding a specific currency. Well, they don't want to release like a new feature, a new set of some sort, and then people just use the currency to hoard it. They'll create some new currency that you don't have, right? I don't know. There's a lot of ways they can go about it, but I don't know. Maybe I should craft. It's like, look, I'm sitting on a ton of purple stuff here. Holy cow. Yeah, we're sitting on a lot of purple materials here. Wow. Yeah, maybe I should just go craft it. You know, again, that's power that's just sitting there that I'm not using. So, you know what? I'll let you guys tell me what you think about not just all these new artifacts and relics, but also, what should I do? Should I just go ahead, head into our forge and start crafting this? Would love to get your thoughts. My beautiful ladies and gentlemen, Gungans, droids, or, well, I guess we're over here in Rage Legends. So, Shadowkin, Lizardman, High Elves, Dark Elves. You know the drill, so do I. And you know what else? If you're a new player and use the link down below, you scan that QR code of infinite mystical knowledge. I'll be able to hook you guys up with some new champions. Maybe it's time to start up a new account. Maybe just pretend that you're a new player. I don't know. You get a free Tholen, and then you get Ugo level 10, Tholen at level 20. So you know, boy, we are not running on any cylinders today. You get Tholen right away. Ugo level 10 to go to at level 20. At level 30, you're going to get the beautiful Ruella. All right, people, I think I got to hop off here. I don't know what's going on here. Guys, maybe all this wailing, all this failing has caused some permanent brain damage. That shouldn't surprise most of us. Thank you so much for stopping by. And always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today. Oh, it's great to be in the Empire.